right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Adventures on Tap Twitch stream, where we're playing the series Oops, All DMs, specifically because we're all DMs with Adventures on Tap, but we're playing Phandelver and Below for the current storyline for that series. This is, I think, our 8th session within the mix. 7. Okay. So if you're joining us for the first time, check out our VODs here on Twitch. We also have them over on YouTube. Um, but yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started with our game here tonight. If you're not familiar with Adventures on Tap, we're a local organization. I say local organization, but organization in Orlando that does pop-up D&D events inside breweries to raise charity. So our big mantra is drink local, support local, and play local. So we're changing it up a little bit by getting into the interwebs of Twitch with these series. So thanks for joining us. And traditionally, as we've been going around the circle of all the players here tonight, asking them what they are drinking tonight and who they are playing. So we'll just keep it going counterclockwise, starting with Garrett.
Hello, hello. I am Garrett. I am drinking Orange Blossom Brewing Company. It's a really delicious orange beer that I'm a fan of. And I am playing the Goblin Blood Hunter Nibfarkle. I'm on a quest looking for my sons and my teacher. And it turns out that 2 out of the 3, maybe all 3, are dead. And so I'm kind of just looking for purpose. So we'll see where it goes.
Nice. Thanks, Garrett. Ken, you're up. What are you drinking? Who are you playing?
All right, hey everybody, I'm Ken, and tonight I am back to the old reliable. I am the bourbon and berry. I've got bourbon and cranberry juice, and I am playing Tregal Evelev, the Shatterkai monk.
I know I say this every time, but I gotta try that drink. I mean, especially if that's your old reliable, it's gotta be decent, right?
Yeah, I like it.
All right. So on to Chris. What are you drinking? Who are you playing?
My name is Chris, and I am playing Ragnar Iron Fist. I almost forgot my last name. The Human Barbarian, and I am drinking a blueberry mead that I made.
Nice. Sounds delish. On to Ferg. What are you drinking? Who are you playing?
Good evening. I'm still working through my Orange Crush from Hidden Springs Ale Works down in Tampa. And I'm playing Barry, level 2 Turtle Druid, on a quest just to be on a quest. He kind of goes where the wind blows, or if he smells something cool. So yeah.
Now, at this point, I'm convinced you bought a pallet of these beers.
Honestly, I might as well. I'm where Ken is right now. It's gonna be my old reliable until it's not.
Yeah, it's a solid beer. Solid beer. All right, on to next individual, which I believe is Kyle. Chat box is covering it up on my screen that I'm referencing. What are you
Hello,
drinking? Who are you
hello.
playing?
I am drinking Ancient City Brewing from St. Augustine, Florida. It's a red ale. It's a pretty good one so far. But I am playing Sky Spirit Flight, a Wood Elf Ranger, protector of the forest.
Nice. And last but not least, Ben. What are you drinking? Who are you playing?
Well, tonight I've got a Tampa Bay Brewing Company. Gourd's Gone Wild. Yeah, Gourd's Gone Wild. I have to admit, I may have found this in the back of my fridge after the hurricane. It's probably been back there for about a year, so I don't even know if that's available right now. But it's pretty good. And I'm playing Ephraim Blacktooth, the half-orc rogue, fresh off the ranch, y'all.
I love I love craft beer punny names in general, but that one has to be in the top 10 for sure.
Gourd's Gone Wild.
Gourd's
Yeah,
Gone Wild.
yeah. It's a pretty
It's
decent
good.
pumpkin ale. I'm not even a pumpkin guy, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't like pumpkin, but I do like it in my beer for some reason. It's a good flavor. Um, yeah, and then I'm Joe. I am the DM for this series with Phandelver and Below. I am currently drinking Edmonds Oast Brewing Company Sour Coconut Lime. I was actually duped because I was trying to get Florida beers, and this was in the Florida section of ABC, and then I didn't realize until I cracked it that it's actually Charleston, South Carolina. But regardless, very good beer. And then in tradition across all of our events, we give a count of three, and at the end of that, you cheers to adventure. So grab your beer, grab your water, whatever you're drinking, go ahead and cheers with us. So three, two, one,
To
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 adventure.
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 New adventure.
I had to get the last word in there, Ferg, didn't you?
I'm just generally late on it.
Ah, okay.
So. If you've ever noticed, like I'm always the last one to say it.
The berry
I just
delay.
thought you were.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was say I just thought you were doing it in character because Barry's a turtle.
I mean, there's a little bit of yourself in all your characters. So
Yep. Also, before we dive in, I do want to give a reminder that as I mentioned, we support charity throughout our events, as do we with this Twitch. So our currently, I guess I'll put quote sponsored charity for now is Child's Play. They've been great organization in general. Um, I need to kind of retroactively correct what I've been saying session over session, but they are apparently national, um, gamifying recovery across children's hospitals. So great charity uh, just for that cause alone, but it does hold near and dear to a couple of our DMs and community. So check it out at the bottom right there of your screen. You can donate to that charity. It will also notify us, and we'll let you know what happens when that occurs. Um,
Yes, and
mhm.
we have supported them in our in-person events
Mhm.
because they are active in hospitals in the Orlando area. So
Yes, very valid point. Yep.
they do have that local, but it's nice on a stream because no matter where you are, if you want to donate, chances are Child's Play is operating in a hospital near where you are. So thank you.
Yep. Thank you, and thanks for that point. Yep. Yeah, we try to support Central Florida chapters of everything, so that's a valid point to bring up. Thank you, Ken. Um, but yeah, to kind of summarize our last session, the fighting continued at Sleeping Giant Tap House as our adventurers or self-described town defenders continue to deal with the Red Brand threat. With this high battle IQ, Barry entangles the doorway, impeding movement in and out of the inn, and yet a tougher fight that was expected occurs. Ragnar and Tregal both get bloodied due to the Red Brand captain, but are able to dispatch the captain, sending the others into retreats. So, taking this opportunity, the adventurers capture two of the fleeing Red Brands, Squinting Vic and Poppy the Finger Popper, uh, as we return to another session of Oops All DMs. So, let me pull y'all back over to the map.
Forgot the names for a minute.
Let me stop that music. All right. Bringing us over to the front of the Sleeping Giant Inn. As a reminder, after the combat had ended and we captured those two red brands, we Tregal went inside to pick up um, Alder, which you found was a clerk with the Barthen's provisions. He thanked you for helping him out. You brought him back to life, frankly, from being completely beat to a bloody pulp to almost as if it never happened. You passed off the opportunity for him to take some of the money off of the red brands before he left. So, unless you have any final words, he was going to make his way back to Barthen's Provisions, which he did know as he was on his way that if you came by, um, being that she basically raised him, I'm sure she would be more than willing to spare some coin or reward you all for helping him.
I have no further questions for him.
The
Okay.
defense rests his case.
All right, so he goes and makes his way to Barthen's Provisions, or the direction that you know where Barthen's Provisions is. What do you all like to do at this point?
Can I quickly go around and search the bodies, see if I find anything useful to us? Maybe money, maybe, meat back at the base, some sort of note indicating where their base is.
Yes, I suggest we start with the leader.
All right,
Yeah,
what
if
are we
there's anything
asking
left
this
of 'em.
guy?
While we were dealing with the captives, I was trying to ensure that none of them wrapped around and came back to attack us a second time. But it looked like most of them were traveling, and I'm going to point towards the east, to the top of the hill. They were going towards that manor. I have a feeling that
Is that a manor or a castle? Because we're looking for a castle. If
the
that can be
goblins had a castle.
Well, I know, in our overarching, the boss guy you guys were hired by is in a castle, right?
True. Maybe the goblins don't know the basic fortifications of a castle versus a manor.
Yeah.
Large building could be in castle.
You guys know that I
They
have
are-
somebody here that could answer
and
your
you see-
question.
I'm
Oh.
ignoring that entirely and searching the boss chick. That kind of face bludgeoned.
I'm just gonna hold on to the dude and be like, all right, well, I guess it's just me and you, bud. They're not gonna ask you any questions. I don't know what to ask you.
Watch your fingers. That one likes to pop them, whatever that means. We still haven't figured it out. It's kind of weird.
Makes no sense.
Yes.
That's okay. I'll pop her head off like a toothpaste.
What is that?
He doesn't.
I
use
don't know.
it.
I heard somebody say it once.
It's a vision you had.
Yes.
If I recall correctly, I've got what was the name, Squinty or something like that.
Squinting Vic.
Squinting Vic.
Oh.
Squinty. Yeah, Squinty. Sounds good. If I recall correctly, I got Squinting Vic hog-tied, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
All right. Because I think I can question him or her as well.
Yeah. Her. I think they're both female, but I'm having trouble moving around this dang window. Just
You
to
guys-
first start with
Yes,
Nib
both were
Farkle,
female.
because you were looking through
Yeah, I'm rooting
Tilly's
through
scar.
the crap.
So she has a scimitar, 2 daggers, and some studded leather, as well as a couple gold pieces on her.
All right, I'll take the gold and the daggers.
Okay, so I said a couple, but it's actually 3, so a few
Okay.
gold pieces. 3 gold pieces you can take, and feel free to add the dagger.
What about this one next to her? Anything on this corpse?
Yeah, so everybody else that is dead has just regular leather armor on them, a short sword, and a hand crossbow.
Oh, hand crossbow. That could be useful.
Or a couple gold pieces too.
Yeah, they all appear to have like maybe 50 silver or so on them at best.
Oops, sorry.
Nib.
Yeah.
Apologies about your contact. Brown man, was it?
I don't even remember. Yeah, no, he was a cool guy for a while, but when you attack us, we gotta attack you back. So It's all good. It's just the way life is, you know?
And to pivot back to Ephraim, what were you going to be asking Squinting Bit? Or were you going to ask anything?
I guess set him up and say, "Hey, Squinty,
Right,
if I
yeah.
was, if I was to let you go, where'd you go to?"
And why would I tell you that?
Well, you know, maybe you tell me something good, and I'll let you go.
How am I supposed to believe that you would just let me go? You have me hogtied right now. I think that's quite heinous, frankly. I mean, we would do that to folks, but I mean, it's hardly a negotiating chip.
Hey, it's not as humiliating as me just holding on to this guy. Imagine how this guy feels or this girl feels right here. This is pretty humiliating.
Honestly, I can't even see that far, but they're probably an ass. They're all asses. Some barely can see. They always make fun of me, so forget them. Who's that over there?
I
Oh,
don't know.
it's Poppy, the finger popper.
I like that
They-
even
Right,
them,
yeah, she's an
even
ass.
they don't
You can
get
do
it.
whatever.
So we only need like one of these people, right, guys?
Realistically, that makes sense to me.
I mean, yeah,
I do
gotta
not
be.
know what sort of law enforcement there is here. We should perhaps take them to the sheriff if one exists.
Oh, come on. When has jail time ever fixed anybody?
Well, this
I'll
is
tell you
true.
what'll fix them. Hey, you there, hogtied. Forgot your name already. Where's your
This one's
base?
Squinty.
Yeah, where's your base? Tell me right now, or I'm gonna crush this person that I'm holding, and then I'm gonna crush you.
I can just start
Well,
eating pieces off of them.
I need to point out to you, Chris, that she already said that Poppy is a jerk and we can do whatever we want to her. So we're gonna have to come up with a better negotiating tactic than this.
Can I go over to the
That's
hogtied
what-
guy and just take a bite out of his calf?
Well,
Hold on.
Wait,
Let's
what?
let's let Ragnar go ahead and roll an intimidation. I would say with disadvantage. No, just go ahead and roll it regular. Based on the fact that you were saying you would crush her after. She doesn't care about Poppy, but
I got a 7.
How do you only have a +1 to intimidation?
Well, it's charisma.
Oh,
so-
okay, yeah, and
Right.
that is not your priority. Gotcha.
So she just spits on the ground like, "Oh, you do whatever. It's all talk."
Oh, really? I'm gonna crush the person I'm holding.
Okay.
I don't know what I need to roll for that.
I mean, I would say you would pass a test to like Crusher. If anything, it would probably be like an unarmed strike for damage.
That's awkward. I don't have. I'm just gonna use War Pick because it's also a +5 for my unarmed strike. I just don't have it for me to use in whatever this is. Cool. Not one.
So I don't even know how to. So
Good luck.
you go to like Crusher, and you try as hard as you possibly can, but she's just so muscular from popping fingers that she just kind of she's definitely still grappled. She can't break from the strength of your grip, but it's almost like you're just hugging her a little tighter.
All right, well, you know what? Give me a little bit of time, and I'm gonna show you what happens if you don't tell us. Crap! What is happening?
Ragnar, I think she's your type.
Yeah, I think reasonably, if anything, the struggle of like trying to crush her is just because you're so low in health. Like you're just feeling weak. You don't have your full strength right now. But you have enough to
Anyway,
hold her in place. But yes,
anyway, Vic,
what-
I know you can't see it from here, but my friend over there, my big sweaty friend, he's all hugging your buddy up in her business. And if you don't want to get all sweaty hugged like that, I think you should probably cooperate. Because let me tell
Well,
you, I had to share a room with him the other night, and it was not a good smell.
Hey,
all right. I would say go ahead and roll with persuasion. Yeah, persuasion.
All right, I'm not very good at it either, but we're gonna see. Hey, let's get the ones out quick.
She just like
oh
looks
good
up in the
lord.
general direction of where your voice is coming from. From her standpoint, you're still just like this light green blur. And she goes, I told you I don't give a shit. I don't. How am I gonna
Oh,
help you?
All right, I'm
you're
gonna go.
into you're into the smelly ones. I got it. All right.
I
I'm
will
just
walk over.
okay.
I'll walk over
It's
next
it's a
to.
heightened sense of mine.
I'm trying to set Ragnar up with one of these.
I'll walk over next to Ephraim and this one that he's talking to, and I will I'll squat down, kind of on my toes, and I will look at her and I will say, "I serve Kelimvor, the Lord of the Dead. I can arrange for you to meet him if you do not tell us what we want to know."
All right. Go ahead and roll intimidation. I would simply say
One.
Can
disadvantage with
One.
the attempts, but also that you're at 1 HP, looking pretty beat up to her.
Okay.
You know,
can
you're close
right
enough to her
behind
face.
I
him. I
I
take
technically
my.
healed him, but yeah,
Oh,
not for
you healed
much.
him, Art? Oh
Not
yeah,
for,
I remember you did like a healing word or something. Well, that was
yeah.
to
And,
Alden, but
and point of order, can she even see well enough to tell what condition he's in?
well, he said that he squatted next to her,
That's
got
Yeah.
close to her face, so that was the only
that's fair.
reason why I was saying
That's
that.
fair.
But
Okay. So intimidation with disadvantage. That's fine.
I tried. Ken.
yeah,
No, that's
if
fine.
anything, like separate of the look of you, it's just more so that it, nobody else seemed to have intimidated her into this information. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a lucky roll here.
No.
No.
5.
Well, I'm all out of spit at this point. I can. I mean, you can ask whatever you want. I mean, trying to find or get me to say where our hideout is, it just ain't happening.
I'm gonna walk over and bite her nose off.
Ragnar, bring this one over.
Hold on, I want to see this.
What do you need? Unarmed attack of some type.
I mean, she's restrained and bound, so isn't that up?
Yeah, it should be advantage.
Mhm.
I would hope.
Sorry, what are you doing?
I'm gonna bite her nose off.
Oh, you're gonna bite her. Okay, you were actually serious. Okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely. These guys are trying to intimidate. The best way is through pain.
Well, you're
I
gonna do
don't.
Squinting Vic.
The one that's hogtied that keeps spitting on us.
Okay.
I mean, she.
Well, not
she-
spitting on y'all, spitting on the ground. Let me say.
She's like on the verge of death, right? Like she's stabilized to the point where we
Exactly.
could talk to her. So
Can I make it subdual damage?
Everyone, I do want to remember we are in front of a tap house which has patrons inside,
Ah,
Citizens.
waterboarding. Good idea.
and We are here as supposed protectors,
Yes, and we took care of the bullies.
and now we're torturing publicly in the middle of the city.
Yes.
What?
Well, I'm kind of just trying to torture, but I can't. Come on!
Yes,
I can't. It's not working.
my.
We should
I think we
find
should-
where the graveyard is to have these bodies buried. And
Oh.
I like this
Well,
idea.
well, I think we could just I think take them to whoever is running the show here. If there's not, there's got to be some kind of constabulary. I think it's what they're called. Uh, but there's no reason to torture. We've made our point, and I think
The
it's the
town must
best
have
bet
a
for
prison
us.
of some kind.
Right. Most towns do. I've never been here, but
Nif
I
and
would
I
just
met.
say, let's not bite noses off or crush to death.
That's my favorite part after the eyes.
Just
Mhm.
just skedaddle along, get
Can I
them
have one
going,
of the
and we
eyes?
can go where we need. Gosh, you can pluck an eye off a dead guy. They don't care.
No, they're better fresh. Plus, this one's squinty. They're
They
more
just
preserved.
died like
It's been
it's
30
been like
seconds.
it's been 5 minutes, bro.
Yeah.
I don't care. She's
Nif and
been
I
squinting
met.
her whole life. That means it's covered mostly, so it's more juicy.
I don't think it works like that.
Oh,
Yes.
how many eyes have you eaten?
And I've had some eyes of fish. Then
Nah,
they're
I'm
juicy
not talking
because
about
they're in the
fish.
water.
Exactly.
Pigs count?
No, I mean, a pig with a squinty eye.
Yeah.
Oh,
We had big old style. We called her Old Squinty. Oh, her name was Squinty, just like yours, Vic.
oh, you know what?
Anyway.
We could totally gut her like your pig, because I assume you ate it.
Again,
Right,
we're in
you just
public.
kill me now. I don't know
Okay.
what this is on, what y'all going on about. It's honestly killing me just listening to it.
You know
Well,
what would
that's
make
quite
that
rude.
stop? If you just told us where you go
Death.
to.
So,
We could,
normally you go up to the mansion. How many individuals are there with the red brands?
We are many.
Nice.
Okay. Do we count on our fingers and our toes?
Oh, I do that.
She
Sky.
laughs too.
it is probably.
Yeah, you could say that.
I cut off one of her toes. Is that you now?
How come he can remove
thought
body
we
parts and
weren't
I get
torturing.
scolded? This isn't fair. I was gonna eat it. I don't think he's even gonna eat that toe.
I hand the toe to Niv.
I still want more.
She screams in pain, and then quickly takes composure while she's barely holding on to consciousness. It's like, you can say all my toes, you can cut off all my fingers. I'm not gonna tell you.
Sky, I
Fine.
believe she is more afraid of who she reports to than she is of us.
And
Look,
she's useless. Gut her.
If we need to get information, there's ways that I can do it. Perhaps after a rest, we can come visit them again.
Let us either take them to the shrine and talk to Sister Grail, or perhaps try to find Silgar. But we should not leave these bodies here in front of the.
We
I'm
know
not
where
moving
Silver
bodies.
went, right? He told us where to go to meet him.
The either he did or somebody at
Toblin.
the Stonehill Inn told
Yes.
us.
Yeah,
Well-
Toblin, one of the proprietors of Stonehill, and had mentioned when you all woke up that he had made his way to the Townmaster's Hall.
Townmaster.
Gotcha.
Well, the
Well, that's gotta
Townmaster
be
would
where
probably be a
I-
good place to
yes.
find
Yeah.
an official.
Well, and I remember when I was catting around, I overheard a conversation that was happening, and they were talking about this basically this farm or manor place. I mean, we could just ask somebody, and they probably could tell us if she's not going to. It's got to be the place where they're holed up at.
Ephraim, go
I
talk
would
up the
like to take
bartender.
a quick moment. I would like to take a quick moment to remind everyone that Ferg, when he says he was catting around, does not mean that in a slang term, but he was in fact turned into a cat.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Just for the.
yes, I was actually a cat. Oh, Barry was.
Shall we take them to the town master hall, meet with Sildar, and try to
Yeah.
figure out the next moves?
Yeah, these aren't the only. I mean, they've been in a pain, and everybody's behind. I'm sure there are plenty of people who would be willing to share locations of their
Yes.
secret hideout.
Can I just roll all the bodies into these bushes here, and like take care of them that way because they asked us to clean up.
I can always, I can. If we don't want to, it's gonna smell bad, but we could pull them around the side somewhere, and I could,
For now, we should put them somewhere
in
we can find
Fuego.
them. Yes.
Yeah, the bushes.
We,
It's a
we
great
can lay 'em
hiding
out
spot.
here behind. Lay them out here behind the sign. That way, nobody has to look at them.
Well, now hold on. Be
Except
careful
people
what you're
behind
putting
the
them on,
sign.
because if you put it on grass, that fire could spread. It needs to be on an area that isn't going to get caught on fire when you're doing
What
this.
about these cobbles?
If we do it, yeah, right in the middle of the road here, this way, nothing
Yes.
else catches on fire.
Okay.
Everybody's safe.
I missed the part where we're setting anything on fire.
The
Well,
dead
how
bodies.
else do you get rid of bodies?
I mean, I thought personally, as a player, that the conversation was to put them somewhere that we could send somebody to get them later.
I mean, that 100% was my plan until fire was brought up, and now I want to light them.
All right. Just so we're on the same page.
I think to ensure we don't destroy the city with wildfire,
In the middle of the road.
possibly informing
it's not
the
wild.
constables, the officers of law may be the best action.
Narc.
We just put them in the middle of the road here. There's nothing flammable here. We just light them up.
Well,
and
let's
then
just
they
go
eventually
see.
burn out.
Well, we could always just go ask if we can light them on fire. That might be their preferred method of
Disposal.
dealing with the dead.
They might have an undertaker. You know that, right? I mean, it is a pretty sizable town. They probably have an undertaker who does this. We
Yeah,
probably don't have to do it.
I ain't paying for that
Yeah.
though.
That's a good idea.
No. That would
So
be on the Red Brands to pay.
you do recall that there was a mention of a graveyard, so it's
Oh,
presumed
yeah, the one with
that
the
they probably
banshee in
don't
it?
burn corpses. No, that was a separate thing. It was kind of like a two-part mention based on Trigal's conversation with that priestess. So there's a graveyard in Phandelin. You also you haven't heard of any mention of like a city guard or town guard, but you have heard mentions that the Miners Guild seems to be the acting force within the town that the Red Brands don't like to mess around with. Granted, you're not sure if they're like in alignment as like a guard or just simply they're intimidating. But as you kind of all mentioned, or a couple of you mentioned, is the Town Master Hall would be reasonably have like the town's officials there.
Can I stick my head in the tavern, just say, "Hey, we're gonna leave these bodies here. We're gonna go tell the town master guy. So nobody touch them."
So as you peer in, you just see just a squalid bar on the inside where there's multiple patrons still there, all absolutely hammered, and they just kind of like some of them look up towards you like, yep.
All right, guys, these guys are on side. We can leave them here.
Okay.
They give a
Off
badge.
off to boss man. Oh yeah, do you want to try and crush that one again, or we want to tie that one up?
Let us take the prisoners with us.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, I'll hold on to her.
All right, off to the
Come on now,
mayor's
let's
house.
go meet somebody else. You're gonna
What?
come along with us now.
Let go of me, I'll pop your damn fingers.
No,
It feels like you're getting a little too close and hugging me hard. What's going on here?
that's not my pickaxe.
Oh my god. Alright, so y'all are making your way to the Town Master Hall? Is what
Yeah.
you said?
And
Yeah.
then, as we're walking, can I just inquire with Finger Popper on how exactly they pop fingers?
Thank you.
Right, it's quite a masterful art, and I don't know if I can pass along that information.
Come on, man. I mean, what have you got to lose here?
Well,
Your
like
legacy.
I said, this pays my bills.
But
Well,
like,
I-
at what
not if-
point?
not.
If you're
how
getting
many
locked
fingers? How many fingers do you pop to get the name Finger Popper? Like, it's got to be in like the double, probably triple digits at that point.
Oh, it's a lot. I lost count at this point.
up, so do you just like squeeze them?
On main things, I mean, basically, I'll lead and interrogate you. Just pop a bunch of fingers.
So, like,
No.
what's your favorite kind of fingers? Like the long, lanky kind, or like the short,
Stubby
chubby
dwarf
sausage
kind.
ones?
Oh, do you have a favorite finger? Oh,
Dibs.
Right,
I've always
Dibs.
wondered this. Is a thumb a finger?
I think somebody told me it's a digit.
They're
I
all
don't really know
digits.
what it means.
Yeah, like 1, 2, 3, 4 digits.
Well, I don't know. But I would say the soft kind, they're just more pleasant when they break easily.
So you don't like a challenge, coward.
Oh, right. Whatever you say, as you, your war pick. Well, I guess she's going like war pick is back there. I don't want to get you excited, creeper. We're gonna make our way over to the Town Master's Hall. All right. So, did it switch over for y'all?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say, if anything, Sky leads you to this area after he had made his surveillance that one morning, early morning. So you see the presumed Townmaster Hall is a sturdy two-story weathered but sturdy stone facade with iron-bound doors. It's crowned by a newly inlaid stained glass window casting refracted hues of green and gold across the entrance. Its abstract design suggests interwoven roots and rising sunbursts, symbolizing rebirth and resilience as the new town grows from the old. I guess.
Who do we think?
Finger Popper would be
I think one of you guys should probably be the one that talks. If these are the guys in
Who
charge, I
knows?
don't know if me walking up is going to be a good thing.
Who knows Sildar? Sidar? Whoever knows him the best
Sildar.
should probably speak.
Yes. Which one of you is friends with Sildar?
It ain't me. I don't even know who this guy is.
I don't think any of y'all know him personally. You knew Gundren.
Oh well,
Proxies,
then
Sildar.
we've all met him, I think.
Was he the guy we rescued
He
from
was the
corpse?
rescue
Yeah,
guy.
he
Oh,
was the one
okay.
that you left rescue from.
Okay, so I did meet him at the campfire then. We entered town with him.
Oh, good
Well,
point. Yeah, I keep forgetting that you had a new character.
I'll go ahead and start
Things
walking
happen.
towards the door. If anybody.
Okay.
You can leave these guys with Ragnar and I. If the rest of you want to go in, we can just hang out in like a bush or something,
Yeah,
or
but
on the road.
one.
So if any of them catch fire somehow mysteriously, it won't go anywhere else. I think the road's a good spot.
Thank
You're
you.
a tree there.
You're
Yeah,
with
we don't
us.
go on the
You'll
street.
be safe.
What?
No, we don't want to
Mostly, but like safety in the fact that hopefully people won't attack you alone.
Well, if I just stay outside, it becomes a non-problem.
Very well.
So Ragnar and I will watch the prisoners out here. If you need to bring out, the head charge guys, we'll be here. Ragnar, I think this fork in the road over here looks like a good spot to post him up. There's not much foliage close. We could really do a good fire there.
Does this building look like it's a place of business, or does it look like a private residence, or does it look like a kind of a combination of both?
It definitely looks more of a place of business.
Okay, all
It
right.
looks like more of an official, like in contrast to the other buildings that you see in town. It definitely appears as what you've seen in other towns is more of a government type building. It does give off that kind of facade.
Okay, then I will go ahead and open the door without knocking. I was just trying to figure out whether, if this is somebody's house, I should knock. So I'll open the door and wait to see who all else I see that Sky is coming. Is anybody else coming? Or is it just us two?
3 and 3, I'd assume.
As you guys are
Right.
walking in, you just hear Ragnar in the back. So, like, is the pinky better to do it or the thumb? Which one is the best?
It's got to be the thumb. They said the plump ones, right? So the thumb's going to be bigger than most other fingers.
And that's the last thing you hear as you walk in.
Barry, are you joining in with them, or are you staying out in Ephraim?
Slow and steady. He's working his way.
No, I'm gonna stay.
Okay.
Oh, well, if Barry's going to stay, then I'll go with. But
Because I don't trust them not to eat them.
Whoa! No one said Ragnar was going to eat anybody. That's just
I'm
that's
not
just
going to
rude.
eat anybody.
all right, fair enough.
Christ, this smoke.
I'll do
Alright.
backup for these two then.
Okay.
I'll be
Okay.
prepared with the other hostages if necessary.
All right. So for those of you that make your way inside, you see that the inside is heavily hued light that casts through over the interior's thick stone walls and interior, partnered with dimly lit sconces along the perimeter. Long rustic wooden tables lined with benches, all worn smooth from years of use. Heavy dark beams support the ceilings above, and the scent of old timber, damp stone, and faintly smoky oil from the iron sconces fills the air. Dust motes drift lazily through hued sunbeams, giving the space a quiet, almost solemn atmosphere. Your footsteps echo off the hard floor, amplifying each movement in the quiet, heavy space, while the murmurs of two gentlemen at the center and the creaking of settling wood add a sense of somber reverence to this hall. You see, one of these individuals is Sildar, and hearing your steps, he turns towards you all and says, "Oh, well, I'll be a troll's uncle. Your ears must have been itching. I was just informing Mr. Wester here of you all. Mr. Wester, these are um, Trigal, I believe was your name, Ephraim and Sky. Uh,
Yes.
they were so gracious to help us, as I was telling you, with bringing us from, uh, was it Neverwinter? I think we were at Neverwinter down here. Unfortunately, yeah, as mentioned, we got jumped, and they helped pull me out from the cave. So Mr. Wester here is the town master, well, acting town master, as he looks over at Mr. Wester, and he you see that Sildar in general too is like in way better health. You can see that his wounds are definitely, uh, you know, patched up and stitched up, but he seems to be in way better spirits than he was when you had first met him. Mr.
Mean,
Wester kind of chimes in like, "Oh, greetings to you all. Yes, I'm Mr. Harbin Wester, banker, but by trade, but current acting uh, town master. Yes, nice to
Hey,
meet you."
real quick, sorry. Ferg just subscribed for 2 months with Prime. So good big cheers to Bart and Barb, Mr. Ferg.
cheers.
Thanks, Jeff Bezos.
Uh, As Tragal walks in, Sildar might see that he is a little worse for wear, at 1 hit point, and he says, Townmaster, I must say it seems like you have some difficulties. We ran into a welcoming committee over by the sleeping giant. They will not trouble anybody else. We have two of
The
them
Red Brands?
outside. Yes.
Red Brands, yes.
We have two of them outside as our prisoners. The rest
Oh.
of the ones that we ran into are either dead or ran away.
Well, that's perfect. The Red Brands have been quite a nuisance on this town, and frankly, they need to stand trial. Unfortunately, we do have prison cells if you would like to bring them in.
Wonderful.
Sky will walk out to go and grab the others.
And as you look,
When them
I'm
come inside.
standing there with Finger Popper just like squeezing the crap out of their finger, trying to pop it. Just
I'm just holding like.
Everyone,
no,
you
I don't
can-
think
what
that's
are
how she
you-
does it. I think it's like a more of a pulling motion. Because
oh,
you gotta
like pop out of the socket.
I don't know. I think so. Isn't that right, Poppy? I don't remember your name already.
It's Pippi,
Pippi. Isn't that right, Pippi? That's how you do it, right? You just pull.
or is it pull
It's
and squeeze?
Poppy, and yeah, you can't pull a little bit, find where there's a give, and you crack in the opposite direction.
Ah, see?
Oh, like this. I'm just gonna like do my best to just rip it right off.
Her finger?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's do, I guess, an opposed strength attack.
Harry, have they just been like this the entire time?
Yeah. I mean, I just told them not to eat them, so I mean, they're kind of listening to that.
So you managed to
At least
pop her
standards have
finger
been
off.
set.
It's a 14.
So Poppy rolled a, I forget, sorry, that it whispers me the roll, but rolls a 10, so she lost. So you pop the finger off.
Yeah.
As Barry is like answering that back and like looks over to see it all happen.
Ah, see? That's how you do it. And we learned a lot today.
That
I
was
feel like
all
we've gotten
good.
closer.
Guy,
Ah, you ass!
what do you need help, Sky? What
Are you
going
guys good over there?
Yeah, we just learned how to pop fingers.
That's great. You want to know what's even greater? They have prison cells. I think that would be a great place so you don't have to bear hug her anymore.
Oh, that's not very fun. I feel like we're getting to know each other like this.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, come on. What if she joined the team?
All right.
Not everyone needs. Never mind. I'm gonna. I
You
just
have
walk
so
away.
much in
I just
common.
walk back inside. I'm just discouraged.
You have so much in common with your son. All right, let's. Well, I guess we bring him into the area here. So I'll start walking into the building.
As I return inside, I say, "They'll be here soon. Hopefully you don't see red."
Oh, there's definitely
My
gonna be
face is
some
still
red,
covered in blood.
Yeah,
by the
and
way,
that
I haven't
finger is
wiped that off.
gushing.
I've been waiting by the doors when they bring in Poppy, I'll be like, Poppy, you missing something?
Sky, did you, when you were watching the Red Brands run away, did you
Yeah.
see that they were running towards that manor house, or was the manor house just
Towards
something
the
you
manor.
saw? Okay, all right.
Yes, it's on top of the hill.
Okay. I'll ask the town master. I said, Mr. Wester, what can you tell us about the old manor up on the hill? When the Red Brands fled, they seemed to run in that direction.
Hold on, I scrolled to somewhere else. The manor. Yes, that's been quite abandoned for some time. I mean, Phandelin's been around for quite some time and only been since recently vitalized, and that has not made, I guess, any progress. But it is
Whose manor
possible.
was it?
I'm sorry.
I said, whose manor was it?
That I do not know, honestly. I could look in the records, but it would take some time.
Hmm.
Very
I-
well.
Walked up to the door at this point, still holding the red brand. Before I walk in, I'm gonna walk up to the door and be, well, uh, Poppy, do you think you could grab the door handle just with your like left hand there? I can't because I'm holding you, and I can't. I'm gonna turn. Can you? Can somebody get the door? I can't open.
Barry, get the door. I assume that the hogtied one has a bit of a lead rope, so I can just drag her across the ground.
Oh, my bad.
Sure, that works.
Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. Here's the door opening.
Thank you.
There you
Thank you,
go.
Barry.
You're quite welcome.
And
Oh,
I'll
I'm
We're
all
gonna
the
make
way
our
over
way
here
in.
still. I'm gonna walk in with the red brand.
I'm gonna drag mine just up over to like this area where my guy's at, and just hand the rope to the mayor guy.
All right,
There you
where's
go.
the prison cell at? So we can throw them in there.
He just kind of holds the rope with like a limp hand. Roy, if you don't, if you'd be so kind as to bring him to down the stairs, down to the cell, and lock it. The keys will be on the wall there.
Okay, Poppy, grab the rope. Come on, don't you want to drag your friend or your ex-friend?
She did tell us we could do whatever we wanted to. Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright.
I could care less about her as well.
Yes, grab the rope and we'll just drag her down.
Sorry, I
Into
was
the cell.
talking and I was muted. I'm just gonna grab the rope before Poppy can make a decision.
Oh.
Drag the Vic over the stairs and go, Ragnar, watch this, and just roll him down the stairs.
for Squinty Vic.
Yeah.
Squinting Vic. Okay. Hmm. Cause she's barely holding on to consciousness.
It's a subdual kick.
Okay.
So the plan is to just knock her out, not kill her.
But fall damage.
It's subdual fall damage.
Yeah.
Bounce,
I
bounce,
don't know if
bounce,
the
bounce, 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 bounce.
I don't know if
bounce,
the
bounce.
rulebook agrees with you, but Joe might.
It's all about intent.
I mean, I think reasonably, if you're kicking anybody down the stairs, they're gonna take some fall damage.
Oh well.
But let's see. If anything, if you're not wanting to kill them, go ahead and roll a d20. And if it's above a 10, then they, yeah, they didn't die.
Hey,
Oh,
10.
nice.
So, for some reason.
on.
Oh, yeah, it's just straight 10.
Me to beat it. All right.
Nice.
Let me. These keys or these controls for roll 20. It's so annoying. All right. So are you going downstairs with her?
Yeah, I'll follow her.
You shove her down.
We got to put her in the cells.
And while they
I will
go,
follow close behind.
I will ask Sildar, have you gotten any further information on your investigation?
Hold on one moment. So there is a little jail over here. Move
Oh,
the map
nice.
there. But...
Nice.
Right. Yes. I did find that he was here at some point and was assisting Mr. Harbin here. Um, but frankly, he seems to have disappeared maybe about around the time I was notified to come this way. So,
Interesting.
Do you have a description of him by chance? So we could also be on the lookout?
well, not necessarily, because I do not know what he looks like either, frankly. I was hoping that the townsfolk here would help. I know his name is Yarno, and actually, Mr. Harbin, I didn't mention Yarno Albrecht, but that is the individual I'm looking for. Do you by chance have a description of Mr. Yarno? Uh, and Harbin, and mind you, I don't know if I gave him a description, but he's a very he's like almost seems like 7 foot tall, just burly guy, but very timid, uh, wearing like a purple tunic. Um, but he looks over is like, Yarno, that that does ring a bell. He was slender build, had a goatee, brown hair. He carried around a staff of sorts. Very interesting staff, but I haven't seen him since, as I mentioned.
Interesting.
What was interesting about this staff?
Well, it appeared to, I don't know, not look like it was made of wood. It had um, very peculiar looking, almost like peacock feathers sprouting from the top. That's
I'll
it.
look at
Seemed it was blue.
Sky and raise an eyebrow.
Can one of us do almost like a, I don't know, like perception or like insight or something? Sort of try to glean anything.
I guess what particularly are you hoping to glean?
Well, the fact that like the oddity of it.
Is this relevant?
Well, yeah, like is this just this person doesn't know magic and like they think anything magic is weird? It's kind of
Hmm.
like my perception of it. It's like, oh, it's magic, it's weird, you know.
I would say you don't have to roll for it. You can tell that he's definitely describing this as if he has no familiarity with magic.
Okay,
Um,
yeah.
however, go ahead and roll an intelligence check.
Intelligence. Okay.
We'll do history if you.
All right. That's in a different spot. That's where that one is. Let's see. 17.
Nice. So you do recall from the conversation that Nibfarkle was having with Bronwyn
Mm.
about a leader going by the moniker Glassstaff,
Mm.
and the way he is loosely describing this staff that he carried around sounds as if there may be a correlation here.
Gotcha. Okay.
This individual may be Iarno. It may be somebody that stole his staff.
Can I just I'll just respond like after uh getting this, you know, look. Um would you describe it as translucent, almost like glass?
Yes, yes, yeah. It was more what do you say? Like a cloudy kind of textured, like I don't even know if tempered glass is part of
I'll point up to like the stained glass, like something similar, but not colored.
yes, well, blue, but it definitely seemed like it had translucent properties. Yes.
Oddities to more. natural formations.
Yes. Did not seem of a natural craftsmanship.
Wonderful. Thank you.
And then hearing what Sky was asking, I will say, were the red brands a problem before the this gentleman Yarno disappeared, or did they begin to bother the town after he disappeared?
Now that I think of it, I do believe it did start around the same time he came through town. Yes. Uh, but I can't imagine you're implying that somebody of the Lord's Alliance is leading this group. I mean, they're the surly sort, they're thieves and ruffians.
As we know, we're just trying to put puzzle pieces together, same as you.
One of the red brands that we encountered said that they follow someone that they refer to as the Glass Staff. Now, it sounds perhaps like, if it is not your friend and your friend Sildar, then maybe someone stole his staff and is using that as sort of a sign of office. So we do not know if it's the same person, but we think the staff that this leader might carry is perhaps the same one. That's a reach. It's a theory. Not conclusive. Sildar, your friend may be in danger.
Yes, I think you make valid points, but by Griffin's talent, I hope it is not the truth. If there's any one thing I know about the Lord's Alliance is they're all honorable, so I would only assume the opposite. But I hear what you're saying, my friend, and I will not discount that idea. I think it's very well possible, especially with the correlation of the staff. Hopefully, somebody had stolen the staff. But yes, have you heard
Yes.
anything in regards to where this glass staff may be?
No, but as I said, we saw some of the fleeing red brands run towards the old manor, so it is perhaps that are um, they are over there. Now, Tragal didn't hear the conversation, I don't think, with the kid. So anybody else that might have heard that might speak up in terms of where else red brands have been seen in town.
If anything, I'll pause real quick just to kind of swap over the scene with Ragnar and Nibfarkle. Are you planning to stay down there? Are you talking smack? Are you going
All right.
upstairs? What are you doing?
So is the one I kicked down the stairs? Are they passed out? Are they unconscious at this point?
Yes.
All right, Ragnar, I got a great idea. All right, first off, we're gonna take a little bit of the rope. Since they're passed out, we can take the rope off. They're not going anywhere. And I'm just gonna tie off the finger I popped, so that it doesn't bleed everywhere. And
I'm really surprised they just let us down here with no supervision.
right. All right, now I'm gonna take the rest of the rope and
Yeah.
I'm going to just wrap it around them, and then I want to sling them up so they're hanging between the two beds.
I think that's hilarious, and I will help in any way that I can.
All right. So
maybe.
go ahead and just roll perception to see if there's things that are available to you to allow that to happen.
It was a 13.
Wow, it like rolled last second to a 5. Dang. So you don't see any like rafters per se, but you do see like a hook in the ceiling that presumably was used to hold up maybe change and have somebody up with their arms chained up with it. Um, so you do see that.
All right, then yeah, we'll wrap them up, and then actually, since they are hogtied, we're just gonna. Are they hogtied behind their back or in front? Ben, what
I
was
don't
your?
know,
I'm
Ephraim.
holding one of them.
The
How
hog
did
tie
you
would
hog
be
time?
behind the back.
Okay,
Yeah.
then where the wrist shackles and the ankle shackles meet, I assume is at a point since that's how hog tying works. So I want to hang them.
But yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Chest down, you know, from that point where all four meet.
Okay. So you try to do it yourself, but you're struggling to get it up there. Ragnar, do you choose to help him kind of lift that person up onto the hook?
Yeah.
Okay.
Help 'em.
So you both successfully place this hog-tied Red Brand Squinting Vic unconscious to the hook as her body is almost going into like a U, just not in a good position. Looks like her back's about to snap, but she is hanging from
Back's
the
about to
ceiling.
pop. Oh wait, that's not even the pop one. All right. So let's go back upstairs. We close all the gates, I assume. Make sure that they're secure.
Yep. So you see keys in between or excuse me, above the table there. As you grab them, you lock up put each of them in their own cells, lock them up, make your way back up.
I'll pocket the keys, and then we can go upstairs. And then I'd like to just report. All right, they're in their cells, just hanging out.
Yep. That's what
Secured.
they're
Just
doing.
hanging out.
Did you not bring my rope back?
Oh
It's
no,
used.
it got destroyed. But you can
Yes.
have.
If you want, go ahead and roll a persuasion, a contested persuasion check there. I guess perception, first persuasion.
Oh boy.
Deception.
Is deception?
15.
Yeah.
Oh, you want
Yeah.
deception instead? Or let's see, is the
I forget that deception
I
is
Is
a
a skill.
skill.
yeah, right?
I was like, hold on, it's a skill?
I had to look myself.
Wow.
I have the same modifier.
Yeah, so deception. Go ahead
And
and
then
roll that.
do you want me to roll deception too, or you want me to roll like insight or something like that?
I would say insight. Yeah, that makes sense. Wow, deception. I've never had to call that roll. Never had anybody. Nice. So you were able
Ooh.
to.
None of your players have ever lied to an NPC before.
No, apparently not.
You're a lucky DM.
Intriguing way.
I think I just funnel everything into like 5 skills. Um,
Yeah.
But yeah, so Nibfarkle rolled a 15 for persuasion, while if Ephraim rolled a 19 in insight. So how do you want that to play out?
All right, fine. I just see that he doesn't believe me. It's like, all right, we used the ropes. They're still tied up. One of them was a little feisty. So they're tied up. You can have my rope, though, and I'll take the 50 feet of hempen rope, whatever that's in my bag, and hand it to Ephraim. I'll buy myself a new set when we get to somewhere else.
I appreciate you making me whole.
Okay.
All right,
You're a
so
good
back
guy.
to the you're a good guy. Back to the conversation. Trigal had mentioned or indicated that others may have heard something, not in this conversation, but that whoever wanted to
Yeah, that
speak up
was
that
out of
heard
character.
that
Yeah,
detail.
yeah.
Yeah. So did anybody that did hear
Yeah.
that conversation recall?
Yeah, I
what's-
think I would have shared all that information previously.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Because I think I talked to everybody after I was done being.
Oh, yeah, I think you may have. Okay, I just didn't want
Valid
to
point,
say
yeah.
it because
After
I
you were
couldn't
the cat.
remember if I could,
Yeah.
if I had heard it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I think
you
he
can go ahead and
distinctly
go through it.
mentioned that too in the session that he told everybody.
Okay. Um, we'll we'll also mention to Harbin Wester and Sildar. What do you know about the orchard? Because we were told that one of the children in town noticed some red brands near a tunnel in the orchard.
So if anything, I just want to correct. I don't.
In the
I
woods.
think you might be mixing up
Yeah.
that the boy was talking about a friend of his that was at the farm and had seen around in the woods a tunnel. So the orchard was mentioned by I think Alima from Barthen's Provisions, saying
Yeah.
that there was a old adventurer there that could probably assist you in trying to find it.
Oh, okay. Yes, then
Uh,
I was confused.
Edermath.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you'd like to continue that conversation, I can.
You guys
Yeah,
taking
Or if you
notes?
want to.
yeah,
In the woods, there was the tunnel.
perfect.
It
So
seems
sorry, you
some
were asking.
children were accosted by some red brands when they were playing in the woods, and they heard some talk of a tunnel.
I'm afraid I can't help you. I would suggest talking to maybe the parents of the children or the child themselves. However, while you are here, I did, being that you've been such a great help to the town, thank you again. Um, that I would like to proposition that now that you have mentioned this glass staff, if you could capture him, that would be at the town's best interest. So I can certainly take from the share of maybe 80 gold pieces for capturing him.
Ooh.
Include being able to kill any red brands we need to get that job done.
Protect ourselves.
Sorry, you were asking Harbin a question?
Yeah, he was
Here?
the one that just propositioned us. So I was making sure that we have
Yes.
clearance to talk to or to kill red brands willy nilly.
Well, ideally, though they have been quite a nuisance as a mercenary guild, uh, they must be dealt with. I would frankly prefer that they stand trial, as opposed to
If
murder,
they
but
start the fight, we can just take.
But we have a right to protect ourselves
yes.
or any citizen.
Of course, yes. Yes. I mean, I don't know if you've heard, but they've already killed an individual of the town,
Yes.
and the
Yes.
hence it's higher priority to deal with this head on. So I would appreciate that if you could, and frankly, if you're up for it, yeah, you may have heard some raiding going on in the west on the trails coming into town. It's greatly impacting the
Yes.
economy, and there's marauders about. So I don't know if they're correlated at all, but that would be a help as well. And I'd offer you payment. As you can see, we don't have much of guard or army or anything, so we would appreciate that.
Since we were attacked by red brands earlier, so you don't have guards, but do you have someone who could like clean up bodies?
Yeah, there's a lot of bodies.
Mess.
I will get someone on that. Yeah, but
All right, cool.
we'll
Hold
figure
on.
out. Don't
Just to clarify, would you have preferred if we just burnt them on our own?
burn them.
Yeah, like dispose of
We're
the
not
body.
barbarians.
Well, no, but
I
how else you
mean,
gonna get rid of these bodies? I mean,
Well, one of us had
Burial
to.
rites.
Yeah, as I mentioned, despite their infamous reputation and nefarious acts, they still deserve to a proper burial.
all right, cool. So we did make the right call. Nice.
I mean,
Yes.
I would prefer if my body was burned if I was killed. I don't want to be buried because then, like, a witch could come up, take control of my body and then
You
use
know,
me,
he has a point. There is a banshee apparently running amok over at
which is
a
why
graveyard somewhere. So
I would personally like my body
Conaberry.
burned.
Well, I don't know much about that, but I would say that Coneyberry is actually quite close to where the raids are, so maybe two birds, one stone.
Wonderful.
speaking to Conaberry, if we gotta kill a banshee, do you have any like special weapons or something that could help us, like an armory we could have access to?
Hmm. I wish I could offer something of that regard. I would encourage, in general, as you have clearly found out that many people need help, that some people may offer these. We also have quite a few uh, great shops that you can purchase
Because
these
we're
things.
working
But
for you, we get like a discount, right?
no, no, I am only a banker and
Hey,
acting as the town
banker,
master.
huh?
I
Acting.
can give you a loan if you want to talk loans, but
Watch out, they're
d-
predatory.
discount I can't help
All right, well, that doesn't hurt to ask.
Uh, I'm gonna take out a map of the local area. By chance, do you have like a general location of where the raids are occurring on the Tribord Trail, or where the town of Conaberry would be?
with. Yes, let me mark that on your map for you. So Coneyberry is located to um northeast of here. And he marks on the map
Gotcha.
whereabouts that is, and then as far as where the raids are, and just south of that area uh, is where we're getting problems off the Tribor Trail of these marauders.
Wonderful.
And he marks that on the map as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
And I believe, uh, and you're welcome. I believe that the marauders may be stemming from Wyvern Tor. As he writes that down on your map as well.
You don't have a history of wyverns here, right? Yeah, we don't have like some dragon thing running around that we gotta be worried about.
Like you're asking him if
Oh
there's
yeah,
dragons?
he called it wyvern, wyvern, whatever.
Wyvern. I don't know how to pronounce it. Honestly, it could be both. um,
Scimitar.
I I do not think so. We have
All
not
right, good.
had
I don't like dragons.
any dragons here, and as long as I've been alive.
Cool. I don't like dragons, so that works out for me.
Well, I mean, human life, dragons live alone. Never mind. Apologies.
Well,
Different
I mean,
lifetime, generational.
Sky, you know the
Apologies,
area, right? And
apologies,
I'm
yes.
from this area, so collectively, can we see if we remember like stories of dragons recently?
I remember trees and forest animals.
It's a cave.
So whoever wants to roll a history can roll a history, and I guess in terms of those that are from this area.
Yeah,
And if
I'm not
those
from this
that
area.
aren't from this area want to I guess with the exception of Trigal, because you're from a different realm, you can roll if you want, but with disadvantage.
That is a 21.
All right. So, Kyle, are you choosing to opt out?
I mean, I've only technically been here for like roughly a month. Like, do you want me to roll with like disadvantage or something, or just like a straight roll? Like, oh, what have I experienced? Or
Hmm. I would say you can roll normal.
okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. That you've been around long enough to maybe hear things, see things. Not with a 2
I
though.
know trees and forest
Trees and
animals.
forest.
and
So
fluffy little bunnies.
Yes, so fluffy.
with Garrett,
Uh,
I'm going to
and for
whisper.
the stream, I rolled a 2.
Ooh, whispers. Are they sweet nothings, Joe?
Well, I we have many choices at this moment, but my biggest fear is if we're dealing with these red brands, if we try to leave town, it would just leave the town essentially defenseless. If we want to deal with anything outside of this town, I fear we need to deal with these red brands first.
Well, recall something that we were told last night. I believe, and again this morning, I believe, by the gnome.
Hmm.
Master Western, uh, what what can you tell us about this miners' guild? We were told that largely the red brands leave the miners' guild alone, and it was thought by the people who told us that the miners are relatively tough customers that the red brands just may not want to pick fights with. Have the miners offered any kind of protection against the red brands or not?
Um, the miners exchange. They've been around since the conception, or rather, rebirth of Phandelin, and they do not. They're hailed by Halia Thorn, and I don't know to any extent she is not uh, offered a hand in helping aid
Hmm.
with the red brands, as far as why they do not commingle. I would say probably because miners are quite burly,
Yes,
simply put.
yes, strong and stout persons. Yes, very well. Well, yes, Sky, you make a good point. If we have stirred the hornet's nest, as it were, with these red brands, um, perhaps we might as well focus on them and deal with them until they're not much of a threat before we leave the town without any defenses.
Hey, mayor guy, are you overly attached to the mansion?
To the manor.
Yeah. Like, if we
Uh,
find out, oh, that's where the red brands are, and we just burn it to the ground with them inside, I mean, that solves the problem, right? But if you like the house too much, then we really shouldn't do that. So.
well, Phandalin is a historic. Would prefer that you preserve the manor as best as possible, but
Okay.
for any means to quell the threat of the red brands, by all means, but please prioritize keeping the ruins intact.
If I have some thoughts on that matter, we will talk later.
Nice.
And Sildar chimes in and is like, also adventures. Let's not please forget that we must rescue Gundren. So if have you any word of or findings regarding the Cragmaw Castle?
No, we don't.
Castle.
Uh,
Hey, is there any
Master
chance?
Wester, does Cragmaw Castle ring any bells with you? Have you heard of this?
He just shakes his head. No.
Is there any chance that like a guy named Cragwell used to own this place and people are just calling it a castle to make it sound better than it is?
Again, I'm sorry, but I'm not aware.
You said you have records, right? Can you look through those records after we leave and see if you can find anything related to Cragmaw? You know, it might be useful information.
Certainly, and I'll see about finding any sort of indication of a castle.
Sounds like a plan. I say we go get a good night's sleep, good meal, and then go kill all these guys in the castle in the manor, or subdue the necessary people.
A game plan must be chosen. Yes.
Yes.
Deal our own brand of justice. How about that?
Yes.
I learned how to pop fingers.
Me too.
Popping fingers is also justice.
All right. Well, if anything, this is probably a good time to pause and take our break, our bio break. So, for all of you watching, we'll give us 15 minutes, but take a bio break yourself if your hands are a lot more free and able to move around than us. But we'll be back around 9:15. But yeah, see you then. right, welcome back everyone to Oops All DM series. We are halfway through our session now, as the adventurers have taken the 2 red brands that they caught outside Sleeping Giant Inn to the Town Master's Hall, where they met the acting Town Master and Sildar. They've had some discussions and are now making their way to Stonehill Inn for a quick rest and bite to eat to recoup some of the energy uh, that was expended during that combat. What are you eating? Is that a Mickey Mouse cookie? Sorry, easily
It's a
distracted.
Rice Krispie treat.
Nice. So they took a short rest.
It's green.
So I'll leave it up now. I guess if anything, I was ending there for what y'all want to do now.
We
Uh,
leaving town won't be beneficial to any of us, I think.
Oh, while we are at the inn taking our rest, I wanted to mention something about this manor house we learned about today. They say it is a historic location. It might also prove to be a good location for a stronghold, should we choose that we want one. So, Nif, I was thinking when we go in there, we should try to do as little damage as possible, because if we become um, heroes in this town, we might be able to convert this to our base of operations, if you will.
all right, but I got dibs on the dungeon.
That is fine. I don't know if anyone else thinks of that. It would be too much for me by myself, but I would be willing to work with the others in turning it back into a base of
Functioning.
operations.
Yes. I mean,
You think the
being
mayor guy's
that
just going to give us a house?
as he said, it's in disrepair. If we were to repair it ourselves, it would only
He did-
benefit the town.
He did say he didn't know who owns it.
This is true. If he can find a deed, perhaps we can bargain for the deed as part of our payment.
I don't know much about my parents' people because I got abandoned at the ranch as a child. But the marauders who left me behind, they one thing I do remember, they had this tradition where wherever they squatted, to do their business, they could claim that land. It was called squatters' rights.
Is that really
So,
what that means?
This is
All right. Well,
Joe
I own
talking.
half this
Is that
town. I gotta be honest. I own half this town at this point.
Sky's gonna just start
What a
to
reflex.
squat very slowly.
My time.
I'm
It
just
just-
saying we could apply that to this mansion house.
All right. So don't light it on fire, but poop everywhere. Got it.
Is that what squatting means to you?
That
you
sounds like
tell
a
this
What-
is a
It's
game
what it
made
meant-
by all dudes?
It's what
Yeah.
it meant to my people. All right. I don't know about anybody else.
I mean, it can't hurt. I gotta be honest here. Worst case scenario,
Anyway.
we poop all over the place. The guy doesn't want it anyway. We can have it. And we gotta clean up a little extra poop. Yeah.
Anyway.
There's a difference between fertilizer and that. The DM anger is hitting.
I think, yes, I think we have derailed the DM enough at the moment.
Anyway,
Hey, if
like
you
I
want to
was
smear
saying-
poop all over the walls, feel free when you get there. 'Cause it's-
Should we
We
go?
still
You don't
and-
threaten me with a good time, all right?
Yeah.
We still have a few hours of daylight.
Should
Sky
we
and
go
I
and
were talking.
question the farmhand's son?
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to say.
Oh, you can like throw some farm lingo at him, Ephraim.
Yeah, you know, like
Yes.
wrestling the
That's
cattle.
exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
You can flip him over and tickle his belly.
What?
I would like to visit the orchard. There is something I feel like I need to do.
All right. Which one's closer?
They're
So
on opposite
you
sides of town.
currently,
Yes,
yeah,
good.
literally,
So yes.
literally opposite sides of town.
We can
The
we can
the
go to the
orchard-
orchard before or after the farm.
Yes.
There is not any urgency.
Because we do know the former adventurer is there. He could possibly be a extra set of protection for the townsfolk.
Yes. Or offer some information on some of the local landmarks, or maybe know more about these red brands or these
Hmm.
marauders.
All right. That
So
sounds
they're
reasonable.
first, and then the other one.
Yeah,
Then
let's go.
so
we
the
also
farm.
have the farmers first.
Yep. Talk to that fellow.
Oh, I don't
The
know.
fellow adventurer.
Okay, so or I'm drawing a blank now.
Ragnar?
Not Chris. Ragnar.
Oh,
No, not Ragnar. Ephraim. Thank you. Ragnar, you're saying go to the adventurer first, and then
I
the
was gonna
farm.
go to the orchard first.
Okay. All right. So yes, we will go to the orchard first. I guess.
Towards the adventurer.
to clarify for Gideon, we did a short rest in the break so that we didn't have to role play and derail everything as we are wont to do.
And then we did it anyway.
And then we did it
What?
anyway. Yeah.
Us?
Then we started talking about
No.
poop and squatters' rights.
Hey, blame Ben for bringing up squatting.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
And what happens when you squat? That's right, you poop.
Pooping on things to claim them as your own. Anyway,
So
I just want to clarify.
anyway,
I do want
yeah,
to clarify because
anyways,
I'm
we're
actually
going-
a little confused.
I'm confused as we're
where
going to the
is-
farm or the orchard.
So
Yeah,
the farm
where
has the
is
sun.
adventurer? Where
The
is
adventurer is at the orchard.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Ken has convinced me that the adventurer is more important to talk to.
Orchard then.
Okay,
Okay.
orchard it is.
All right.
All right. So we will head that way.
Alright. Put you all on the farm map, so give me a second. So alright.
Sorry.
So no, you're good. Moving over to the orchard. Alright, give me 1 second to pull up that information.
As much as I'd like to go poke around in a hole in the woods, the argument that the adventurer might serve as an extra set of eyes on the red brands in town puts me over the top.
Puts you over the top of what?
It changed my mind, Ragnar. Changed my
Ah.
mind. Made me see
That
his
I
point of
understand.
view.
So
Putting
as
you
you
over is letting him win because you're so awesome and it makes him look good, so the fans start liking him instead of you.
Wait a second.
anyways, you approach a quaint cottage that's has a backdrop of a flourishing apple orchard. The air hums with a sweet floral aroma of ripened fruit, mingled with earthly tones of moss-covered bark, as sunlight streams from the afternoon sun through the uneven canopy of branches, illuminating the scattered fallen fruit on the ground. The gentle rustling of leaves and the occasional chirp of birds provides a sense of calm. Down one of the immediate rows, you see. Is that a place? Here, we'll put him over here. Down one of the immediate rows, you see a male drow collecting apples, whether fallen or picked directly, and placing them in a wheelbarrow. What do you do?
Oh, okay. Well, if we see him outside, I will walk over in the direction of the gentleman. Uh, Walk up to the fence, and I will say, "Hello there." And
So you see him as he's like picking off an apple. It's an older um, looking drow. From your understanding of drow, maybe about 500 years old or so. Definitely has more cracks and crow marks or whatever to his face with long white hair as you kind of spook him a little bit, like, oh, uh, hello. Can I help you?
well, yes. First of all, cousin, we are both far from our original homes. I can see.
Um, I, you definitely look elven of sort. Are you from the Underdark?
No, I am Tragal, and I am a
Tragal.
Shatterkai. I hail
Hmm.
from the Shadowfell. Uh, so
Okay. I've heard of your people. Okay. Well, it's
another
nice to
realm
meet you.
adjacent to this one. Yes, pleasure to meet you.
And my name is Darren Edermath. Is there something I can, I don't know, assist you with? I mean, I don't often get many individuals over here while I'm working on the orchard.
Well, my friends and I are new in town, and I will point to the others who are visible. If anybody if somebody's trying to hide, just I probably don't see them.
Yeah, like
So
Nib Farkle looks like.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm right behind the cart. I'm not. I know I'm not the most pleasant.
yeah.
Nope, I'm leading on the fence.
Oh, we had an encounter this morning, a rather unpleasant encounter with the Red Brands. We prevailed, and we managed to capture some and kill several others, but some of them got away. We were told that before you settled here, you adventured, and we just wondered if you had any observations of these red brands or could offer us any insights into the trouble that they have caused.
Yeah, I mean they've given most of the town trouble from what I've heard. Fortunately, if they're picking apples from my orchard, I haven't seen them, and but from what I've heard of their acts back in my day, I would have gladly helped handle it, but I'm getting high up in age that I cannot uh, help. But I will tell you, they are led by someone I've heard by the name of Glassstaff. I don't know if you're aware. They
We
also
have
hang
heard
out
that
about the
name.
Sleeping Giant Tap House. If you've been
Not anymore. They don't.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
so
is where
these
we.
were. Where did that
Yes.
voice come from? That was squeaky.
Squeaky, squeaky.
Sorry, apologies. Yes,
Okay.
they've been dealt with at that provisions.
Hmm. Splendid. Well, that's great news. Have you handled them at the Transcender Manor?
What?
Ah,
The
The
one on the hill.
Transcender Manor. The Transcender Manor.
no, we saw several of them run in that direction. We have not been there. The town master could not remember the name of the manor.
It makes sense.
Master Wester, I believe his name is.
Yes, he's fine uh, acting town master, but he hasn't been I don't know, part of the town for a very long time. I've been here since well before they kind of recouped it, whether I was just taking up hold or fulfilling any sort of contract I could, and then I just kind of settled down here. But the Tresender Manor is, it's been here, oh,
maybe 100 years. I mean, in its condition, probably about 3/4 of that time. It was owned by a noble family, rightly named the Tresender family. Unfortunately, there was a horrible fire that struck out, but yeah, they're
And it,
unfortunately none of them or their help made it out. But if I were to point in any direction, I guarantee that the red brands are housed up there. There's it doesn't make any sense to be out of town and constantly bothering everyone else, and I'm not aware of any other buildings that could house as many of them as I've seen.
I
y'all
see.
ever do any poking around in the woods? Know anything about a hole in the woods over that way yonder?
I'm not aware, but if anything else, that sounds like a indication that they have a way to sneakily get in and out of there. That would be my guess.
See, y'all, he agrees with me. Poking around in a hole in the woods is a good idea.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
sure there's a lot of
It
holes
depends on the whole.
in the woods.
Lots of holes in the woods.
Ephraim, Ephraim.
Would there be any possibility if we were to try to deal with the threat at Trisenda Manor that we could rely on you as a layer of protection for the townsfolk? Our fears are we've heard that the Redbreads have already murdered a citizen of the town, and we do not wish for our actions to have repercussions for the others.
I mean, that's an honorable approach to the situation, but I guess I apologize. Maybe I didn't hear what is there a question or you just
I was just apologies. I was wondering if you would, being a former adventurer, if we could sort of rely on you as a level of protection, a layer of protection for some of the townsfolk. I'm not saying that you would obviously be at every one of their doorways, but protecting some of the townsfolk.
um I mean, I am but one individual and I am getting old. I do visit the town quite often. I can definitely keep an eye out and if there's anything afoot, I don't think my conscience could let me not handle that situation. But again, I'm just one, so I don't know what exactly you're proposing here.
I
If it's with
merely
you all, then
merely
sure, I'm happy to help.
merely a support system. Uh, I'm not asking you to protect every single person in the town, but if you were to see wrong being done, my hope would be that someone would step up and not turn a blind eye.
And you might know some other people who might be willing to help, maybe?
True.
Hopefully. You've been here a while. Hopefully, you know who might be able to swing a sword if it came to it.
We have.
There's plenty of townsfolk that are young and able that may be able to assist. Whether they have experience, I don't know, but I would suggest checking out the miners' exchange as they are, I mean, uh, they mine. They're strong.
Rough.
They may be able to help.
Ephraim, ask him about Cragmaw. If he's been here a while, you might know about it.
D- don't mind me. I'm just talking to the cart real quick. One moment.
Oh, no, okay. Yeah.
Oh, hey, the cart wants to know if y'all ever heard of someplace called Cragmaw Castle.
Um, no, I have not heard of any Cragmaw Castle. I mean, the only I don't know structure that could be even reminiscent of a castle I'm trying to recall what the. Gotta find where I wrote it. Is the Melaroo Keep. Um, it it was again another noble family. Probably I would say with more wealth and prominence across the Sword Coast than the Tresender family, but uh, they were of elven ilk. Um, but they did have a castle, like again, keep the Melaroo Keep. So maybe there's some correlation there. But I have never heard of anything Cragmaw
Hmm.
or Cragmaw Keep before. No.
Did you get all
Yes.
that, Cart?
Do you know
Ugh, you're the
generally
worst.
where? Close to the city, north, south, east, west? Any possibility?
Uh, if I recall correctly, it was a little bit to the north of town. And granted, now since I've been kind of traversing back and forth between Neverwinter, it seems to be more so overgrown at this point. It's definitely if it still exists, if it's still erect, it's definitely in the more southern tip of the Neverwinter Wood.
Joe, I'm an idiot. I just understood your whisper to me. Okay.
Oh,
Oh, perfect. Oh, I spelled it right. Wonderful.
I keep asking. All right, Ephraim, I keep asking about Cragmaw. Don't I got it sorted? So just move on to other things. Don't worry.
All right.
The
The
cart
cart
is.
says.
Oh
The
man,
cart says that was the thing.
Now I'm gonna walk out. I'm like, clearly you're not interested in just allowing me to just be hiding. So, hello, I'm Nib Farkle. I'm a halfling. I've just had some bad times.
I was gonna say, Ephraim, did you get into my mushrooms or something? You were talking to a cart. That's like that's out there, man.
it's a pleasure to meet you, my stout fellow. I'll be honest. I don't often come across your species, so and frankly, you've been your kind has not been too good to our town. I
Halfling.
hope you don't mean any ill will being here. You seem kind. I don't want to offend you.
This town was attacked by halflings.
Um, right. No.
Just,
I think it was just a misunderstanding.
just go with it. Just go with it.
Fine.
Nif, I believe you are you are among you are talking to someone who is very wise.
All right, man. I'm gonna level with
on
you.
whom
You
disguise
probably
is.
didn't realize, but I'm gonna take the hood down. I'm a goblin.
Again, I did not want to be rude, but I knew the second you walked out from behind the cart that you were a goblin. Yes, I haven't quite met someone again of your kind that could. I'm again. I don't mean to offend, but could actually intelligibly communicate.
Believe me, I've dealt with plenty of that cannot. It's a burden here.
Ni-
Yeah,
That's
you're
mainly
quite
the
an
reason I
anomaly.
left.
Is there more of you?
Nif is a rather unique member of his kind. We
Or
have learned
so
that.
I've learned over the years of beatings for being too smart.
Higher intelligence.
Oh, well, I'm sorry for how the world has dealt you your cards, but
Goblins are goblins, you know how it is.
Yes.
yes, I do actually.
Yes, I would imagine. Uh, Master, I'm sorry. You said your name is Eldermath.
Edermath.
Edermath. Edermath.
Yes. Darren, you can call me Darren though.
Darren.
Darren is my first name. Yes.
Okay. Oh,
Or given name.
uh, Darren. Would it be possible to purchase a half dozen or so of your apples um, for my friend, or for myself and my friends?
Oh, well, quite a gracious offer, but yeah, feel free to take as many as you like. Honestly, for helping out the town, but you're new to town. Just know that I may have the best apples around. You have to give it a try.
He like as
He
you're saying
tosses a
that,
bunch
Barry
of
like
apples
has
to
one
him.
in his mouth and he's like,
Oh, don't worry, my turtle friend. Enjoy.
well, okay, because they just look too good to pass up. Oh, I couldn't resist.
Guys,
And
get it.
I'm gonna grab a half dozen, um, including an extra one for Barry, and I will go to everybody, and as I hand the apple to each of you, I tell you in a way that seems kind of like a sort of a ritual saying. I tell you, the Shatterkai philosopher Sageo Villarreal once wrote, "An apple a day, there's a way."
Oh,
Oh,
Thank,
thank
thank
you.
you. Yes, yes.
And then I give a little bow towards Darren, the orchard keeper.
Hey, Darren, you know how to kill a banshee?
What?
I've dealt with banshees in the past. Sure. I guess what are you trying to?
Well, I don't know that we need to kill her.
Well, I mean,
Sister
it's
Garail,
a problem.
at the shrine, she said that there is a banshee that she named, I believe, Agatha, that lives near the ruins of Coneyberry, if I am not mistaking that with something else we were told. Uh,
You're not. GM to you.
okay.
GM Joe to you. You're not.
She said that there's information she needs from this banshee, and she gave us an object that may help us um, get that information. So I believe, Nif, that we only need to question her. I don't know that we need to kill her. But perhaps the better way of putting the question, Darren, is do you, if you were trying to have a conversation with a banshee and not die in the process, what would be, do you have any ideas of the best way to approach the creature?
It honestly changes between spirit to spirit. It depends on why they became a, honestly, frankly, a chaotic, evil spirit of sorts. There's got to be a reason how they started that way. So I think starting with that first, if you know or can figure out what may have tethered them to this plane, then you may be able to converse with it. But I'll be honest, I've never tried to talk to a banshee. Um,
Very
and if
well.
anything, I would suggest maybe putting some earwax or something in your ears, as their wails can be deadly.
My God, they have whales?
Oh, that is good to know.
Wail
Yes.
as in the sound,
Yes.
the
Obvious.
loud shriek. Yes.
Were you a sailor at one time, Nif?
What?
How would you know of these whales?
It's when someone cries out. That's what we're talking about.
Astral sea whales.
Yes,
Oh, yes, you must have heard
some
stories
jerk
about that from
humans
Galan.
a while ago sent some whales into space, and apparently, Galan saw them, and I don't know, something to do with saving their planet. It's weird. Didn't make much sense, and I think everyone was pretty tuned out at that point. Um, So, is there any particular way, if we do end up fighting this banshee, to kill it? Is it just magic weapons or silver or whatever?
I haven't found any particular thing that would give an edge to fighting this banshee, but I will say it is hard. They are hard to kill, so hopefully, I guess whatever um, you're trying to attempt to maybe try to talk to it and figure out how to untether it from the plane would be my suggestion. I have only come across banshees in my lifetime maybe twice, and they were horrifying.
Well, I figured I'd ask, if you had any tips, because better prepare to kill it and not have to than have to and not know what to do. So,
Understood. If I could, yeah, provide you anything, I would, but unfortunately, I can't. I will say you mentioned was it Coneyberry, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I was making my way from the northeast side, traversing to um, Tribor for a couple of goods. Came back down around that area. There's a place called Old Owl Well. Um, I noticed that someone was digging up the ruins there, and I spotted I spotted undead, and again, and especially with uh, what it seems to be an arrangement here, I'm just one, but I also am agreeing to help out this town. If you could maybe check that out, I just I fear ancient Netherese magic may be afoot.
Mm, well, I serve the Lord of the Dead, Kalimvor, and one of my tasks is to make sure that the dead stay dead. The undead are an abomination. We have many tasks, primarily one of them to help find the man who hired my friends to deliver goods here to the town. He was kidnapped by goblins, not by Nif, but by people that Nif knew.
my kids, yeah, bunch of jerks.
Unfortunately,
Sounds
they
complicated.
yes, it was. But yes, uh, you say this is a place called Old Owl Well near Coneyberry, where these undead were spotted.
Yes, if as a matter of fact, if you have a map handy, I can mark the area.
Opens the map. Just point. Here's a Sharpie. It's a
Sure.
trademark. Where
Let me bring that.
it's nice in
Uh,
octagonal grid because that way we can see clicks of how far we travel.
Interesting. I wish I had this back in my day when I was traveling miles and miles.
Ah.
Um, but
When you had the quest of maps.
yes, the quest of maps. It was we had to print write
Multiple
down each
pages.
direction
Yes.
with landmarks.
Well, it looks to
Uh,
me like he upgraded to some Apple Maps over here.
Yes, I try to look at the apple to see if it gives me appropriate directions, but maybe it's just me being out in the heat. It never seems to work. But he marks down on the map um, an area that is between where the town master had marked where Wyvern Tor is and Coneyberry. So it's like in between, but to the northeast as well.
These have like a straight line. Toot, toot, toot.
All right, well, unless you got more information, I think we're good to just go
Thank you.
supplies and
Thank you very much, Darren.
Break out these jerks.
Uh, yes, of course. Happy to help. It's a pleasure meeting you all. Hopefully you enjoy the apples. And
They're
yeah, if you have
delicious.
any questions, feel free to come back. Happy to help.
Goodbye.
Can
May the gods bless your orchard.
he
Thank you.
mentioned Netherese magic?
Hmm.
The fact of like such a specific type or like style of magic, could I try to either like remember something or like history of like it? Like, do I recognize that essentially?
Go ahead and roll
Could I
either
do
arcane,
Arcana?
yeah, Arcana or
Cool.
history, and depending on how either
Sure.
roll that you go depends on the information given. But
I'm rolling history. 19
Ooh.
for history.
Ooh.
nice, 19 history.
Someone might
Sweet.
want to roll Arcana. Just saying. It is the magics, and we don't know if it's with the C or with the K.
All right, so for
What is going on?
yeah, there's a lot of rolls going. What's
I don't know. It's like
Holy!
it's glitching. They were all really good though. So just
Yeah.
take the first one.
they are really all good. Um,
30, 20.
so in terms of history, Kyle, you or Sky, you rolled a 19.
Hmm.
You're aware of um, a ancient magocratic nation of Netheril that you seem to, or you're aligning that Netherese probably implies some sort of magic school or school of magic, excuse me, not magic school, school of magic that has stemmed from this ancient civilization and culture. For those of you that have both, so Barry, um, you stem the same kind of understanding. So Barry rolled a 20, which is great. You rolled you rolled well enough to get that same information, but also are aware that the magic that the Netherese Empire specifically um, invested in was almost it was so powerful that it wiped them out for unknown reasons from manuscripts and stuff that has been documented of the situation, but they have found various artifacts that seem to have um, lasting, impactful effects on the environment it surrounds. Um,
Mm,
so it seems to be more of like a dark magic of sorts
yeah.
that
Yeah.
they have discovered.
No me gusta that. So the upsetting the balance of nature is. Uh, it's why I've been tasked to delve into the mines. So, so something we should definitely check out and continue to keep an eye out for as we adventure forward.
Yes.
All right. So do you all leave to go somewhere else, or are you still talking to
Ye-
Darren
I think we're
in
heading
that
out.
regard? Was
yeah.
that I get Barry also? Was that like in conversation with the group, or were you talking to Darren? I might have misinterpreted that.
I was just saying it aloud. I was assuming we were like walking away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, where are y'all trying to go next?
I believe were we going to the farm? Was that where
Yes,
the other
please.
place we wanted to go? Or
Yeah.
to the forest and look for the
I think if we go to the farm first, we can glean a little bit more information before we go to the forest.
Oh yeah, it was the woods beside the farm anyway, so
Yes.
we should probably ask permission. Go in their woods.
Okay.
We'll just go tromping around.
True.
Okay, so we make our way to the farm.
As we walk across town, I just want to keep my eyes peeled and see if I notice anybody wandering around in these scarlet cloaks.
Um, hold on a second. As you're traversing through the town to the, I'm guessing. Well, what route are you guys taking? The
I
lower
guess we
one.
would follow the road to
South
the
and
Alderleaf.
then
Yeah,
that's the town
follow the road
master.
to the Alderleaf farm.
Okay. Yeah, you don't see anybody about that has the scarlet cloaks on.
Okay.
It seems to just be regular townsfolk going about their day, tilling to their yards or going to shops. Uh, but no indication that there's red brands currently out right now causing a
Okay.
ruckus.
Okay.
Alright, we'll move y'all over to Alderleaf Farm. Something's going on with the music. There we go. Alright, so you arrive to what appears to be a converted barn, now a charming house, which features exposed wooden beams and large arched windows that bring in ample light, blending rustic character with modern comfort. Surrounding the home is a spacious field divided into neat rows of diverse crops stretching out in a patchwork of greens, yellows, and reds. A few livestock roam nearby, and their presence understated amidst the well-maintained crops, c- completed with a pastoral scene with a touch of practicality. You see a few individuals tending to the fields off in the distance. A middle-aged gnome, well, actually, y'all are behind the house, so we'll just put you. Maybe you just walked around. Put you here. I think I duplicated your characters. I'm seeing multiple bars of health. Oh no.
Barry? But there's two of you.
All right, I think I have all 6 of you. Okay. You see a middle-aged woman, aged gnome woman, approaching the house from the field with a watering can, calling out to the young boy, right here. Um, Carp, honey, leave poor Guillermo to his dinner. You can talk with him when he's done. Why don't you grab your mama some water? And the little boy chimes in, "Oh man, I was just telling him about the adventure. Sorry, Guillermo. I'll be right back to tell you the rest of it." As he runs into the house real quick to grab a glass of water. And as he runs into the house, the woman notices you all approach and says, "Oh, hello. We weren't expecting any visitors today. Is there something I can help you with?"
Apologies, and I hold out my canteen. Uh, some water.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you. Yeah. She takes your water skin. Is that what
Mhm.
you said?
Yeah.
And takes fountains it to her mouth and hands it back over. Well, very kind of you. Uh, as Carp kind of runs over with a overflowing glass of water, like, oh, uh, sorry. Does anybody else want water?
No thanks. I'll take it.
All right, he hands it over. You like snatch it out of his hand. He's like, "Oh, you're an interesting looking halfling."
Yep.
This is what happens if you
Yes.
don't listen to your parents.
It-
Oh, okay. Is he like kind of just like presses up against the house and makes his way around her goal to run behind his mom? Like kind of just tugs onto her, holds onto her
uh,
Apologies for
dress bit,
interrupting
whatever.
your workday, but we had heard a rumor um, involving your son with information about some red brands.
Um, I'm not aware of this. As she looks down at Carp, like, Carp, can you explain yourself? What have you been running out at night or playing around places you shouldn't be? He just kind of like goes into himself like, sorry, Mom, I was just on the out near the woods and I did see a tunnel with a bunch of red brands next to it, but Mom, I did not go near them. As you told me, I came back home. I don't go near them.
Smart boy. They
that is
could be
good.
dangerous.
Yes, as I've told him many of times that unless he's partnered with another adult or something from town, I don't want him running off. And Carp, we'll have to talk about this later, honey. This is not going to be forgotten. But is there anything I don't know that you, you can help with?
Well, we had a run-in with the Red Brands by the Sleeping Giant Inn this morning.
Sounds about
W-
right. Yeah, they've been a nuisance.
We managed to slay some of them, captured others,
As she just cups Carp's ears.
and
Earmuffs, earmuffs.
and others ran off. We saw them running in the direction of the manor house on the hill. Um, as our friend Darren from the orchard told us is Tresender Manor. I don't know if that name is known widely, but
Hmm.
we heard about this tunnel and we were wondering, young carp, without going to it, can you describe how we can find the tunnel?
Uh, yeah. Well, if you go near the woods over there, um, right where the hill where the big house is on top of, uh, right, that's where I saw the tunnel. Was going into. I'm getting an accent all of a sudden. Going into the hill, um, i- in I saw a bunch of scary goblins too with glowing hands. They were going into it with the red brands.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Gl- glowing hands?
Yeah, they were bright green. It was really cool.
Hmm. Indeed.
Hmm.
Indeed.
So, based on my role, my Arcana role, would this like Spidey sense anything?
Hmm. I would say yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
you. This sounds like an
I can connect
something.
some dots.
Yeah, you're connecting dots that these all like you keep hearing all these different accounts of these weird shit like goblins where they have elongated heads or glowing hands, that from the recollection of hearing about this dark powerful netherese magic that impacts the surrounding areas, that maybe there's a correlation to why these goblins are looking
Hmm.
the way they do.
Yeah. Well,
Hmm.
might explain why Nif looks all crazy too. Uh,
What?
No, nothing. I was trying to make a joke.
Yeah, but he's plausible. It is plausible. He says he's from the area.
Listen, me and my kids all looked fine-ish.
Well, one of your kids doesn't look so fine anymore. I mean,
That is rude.
Why are we lying? It's both. Sorry, what?
Hey, kid, you want to see something cool?
Yeah.
Uh,
All right, I'm gonna go over to him and I'm gonna take the keys out of my pocket that I had taken from the cells and just give him the keys. Like, you find out what this goes to.
Okay. Wow. Keys.
It's a mystery.
Well, I I don't know what I'll do with these, but thank you.
You win a prize if you find out where they go.
Um, Mister, you're not. I don't know you. You're not leading my son to anything dangerous, are you?
No,
I will say I might be, I might be a gnome, but I'm fierce. I
no,
will come
nothing,
after you.
nothing dangerous. It's all good.
Okay.
technically,
Well,
those keys go to the safest place in town.
Exactly.
oh, there you go, Carpe. A little riddle for you to find out. Maybe you and I don't even remember. He's gonna fill in the blank name of the kid at Stone Hill
Catfish.
Inn. Maybe you and him can try and figure out where those keys are at. Connect to tomorrow. Wow. Okay.
I didn't go
Adventure.
down those stairs, so I have no idea what he's talking about.
Apologies for interrupting your harvest. Um, Thank you so much for allowing us the opportunity to glean this information. Is there
Of
anything
course.
that you, as thanks, would need from us, working hands in the moment?
Oh well, that's kind of you. I mean, I don't have anything in particular, but if you do find, um, because I see you all are new in town, if you can't find
Hmm.
reasonable lodging, I'm happy to hold you up here. I mean, of course, as you mentioned, it would be appreciated if so to help me out with give me a helping hand with the other hands here, with the farm. But yeah, yeah, free room and board if you need it.
Do you mind if we go poke around your hole? What?
Oh,
Three people.
I think you meant to say something else, but if you're saying the hole that Carp was mentioned, feel free. It's not.
All right,
It's off
cool.
the ends of our property, from
Yeah.
the way I'm understanding his description.
I just want to make sure you're cool with it.
I I'm not sure we want to
Oh,
do
the
that
key.
just yet. Um, uh, Barry, has the have the spirits seen to replenish um your power, or do you need a sleep before that happens?
Oh yeah, we'll definitely need to knock out for a little bit. Kind of recoup. Uh, yeah, get the nature's blessings back. It's gonna take a little bit of time.
Hear me
Yes.
out. I'm not saying we go into the hole, but
We
we
can
should at
do.
least scope it out.
We can
I think we should.
recon.
I think we should at least look at it before we go to bed.
I can turn into all kinds of. I could turn into a spider. Like it would be sick. Uh,
I mean, you don't just
I'll
go
look
look at
at
a hole. You got to go in a little bit.
yeah, yeah.
I'll look
Wait,
at the lady of the farm, and I will say, um, we are going to go investigate this. You might want to have your keep your farm hands close in case you need to get inside to safety.
Um. Okay. Yeah. Sure. I mean, we're finishing up. it's. I mean, if anything, we looking up at the sky. It's probably about 3, 4 o'clock. Um, right around the corner from sunset. It's like we've been tending to the fields a little too long today, longer than expected. But we're wrapping up. If anything, I appreciate it, but we should be out of the way.
Yes, especially the little one. Don't want any any harm to befall anybody on our
He's
behalf.
just like sitting there, like kind of getting like really excited, holding the keys, like adventure. I want to go on an adventure. As his mom's just like kind of ruffling his hair, is like it. The only adventure you're gonna see, honey, is going to bed. It is almost your bedtime. So why don't you go and wash up?
Hey, does he have a dagger
Smart
or
choice.
something to defend himself if he needs to?
Carp?
Yeah,
Are you asking that to her
yeah.
or just in general? No, he is not armed with sharp objects.
Ah, you gotta teach him young.
Oh, until the red brands came about, we didn't have much to worry about. But I have I have things for self-defense.
All right. Well, I mean, I got
Thank
some
you.
extra daggers that have some cool red branding logos on them. If he wants one.
That might not be the safest
I
in case the red
appreciate the
brand.
gesture, but frankly, anything red brand, no, thank you. But
Hopefully, when
I
our work here is done, you won't have to worry about the red brands anymore.
well, it's much appreciated. It's I mean, if anything, thank you for actually taking any action. It's it's hard for any of us to do anything nowadays with their skulking about and causing trouble, and nobody seems to help.
You know they pee on shrines. Those guys, so disrespectful.
And we've also heard they have murdered and perhaps kidnapped members of your community. And
Apparently, they're
we
just
cannot
squatting
sit idly
all
by.
over this manor up the hill too. They're crazy.
Yes, I did hear uh, that mentioned somewhere, but yeah, somebody's
The
wife
squatting.
and child. It's terrible. But yeah, if you can help in any manner, we appreciate it. But for my end, I mean, there's nothing else I don't think I can help with. So if it's all right with you, I think we'll close up shop here. Feel free to go look up at the hole. And again, thank you. Sorry if it took any offense, but for the dagger, but we'll do okay without.
Not
All
a
right, y'all. We're
problem. I
gonna cut
take
out
no
here.
offense.
Thank you, and I give a little bow before we leave.
Thank you so much.
Have a good afternoon. As she makes her way to like a well outside, kind of washing her hands up front, and then going into the house with Carp. Move them in there. The farm hands all go home. So y'all make your way over to the tunnel, or presumed where it was.
Uh,
Yep.
yeah,
We'll
let's go over to the edge of the
scout it.
woods and probably then decide whether all of us are gonna try to go up there or whether one or two of us are gonna try to sneak up there.
Okay. Um. So you make your way uh up to whereabouts general location of where Carp had mentioned him seeing the tunnel, where the woods and the hill meet. The woods itself, dense thicket of trees, um, carving the outside of this hilltop formation, cliffside, and you see as like you approach, but from a distance you can see uh, what appears to be like two large wooden doors at an angle going if you were to open it, it looked like it presumably goes under this cliff.
You see that there are two, as the light's getting a little bit darker. It's still golden hour. You can see and make shapes out of individuals with red cloaks, two of them posted up on the outside of it. Um, but you're far enough away to not make out any discernible details or them to see you.
So you said 2 guards?
Yes.
Do we want to kill them and then board up the door so they have no escape?
No, I think we want to go in this way.
So we need to kill them anyway.
Well, eventually, but not right now. If we kill them now and then we go rest and then come back, they're going to find the guards and realize somebody knows their hole is here. We want to leave these guys for now. Come back later. Kill
Keep
'em
the
on the way
hole
in.
protected until we go on and get into it.
Exactly.
Mhm.
This is called going in the back door. Very important.
Nif,
Ah,
what was the name of the person you were talking with? The red brand.
what was his name?
Bronwyn?
Yeah. Brownie.
Do you think we could? And this is possibly a bad idea, and I understand it is. If we wanted to try and investigate it, could one of us or two of us go up and say that we were recruited by that individual or by Poppy Fingers?
Well, I assume they all think they're all dead. Like, I'm sure word's gotten back to them that
True.
there was a
People
slaughter
did-
there.
you are
So
right.
if we start dropping names of
True.
dead guys, I don't think that's going to go well for us. However, we can take your cloak idea and just dress up like them, get in this back door, and then once we've penetrated deep enough, we can then, once we're in, position ourselves properly.
Do we just want to investigate or do we want to infiltrate?
Well, we're not doing anything right now because Ephraim said so. But I think the idea is we go in this back door, going deep and quiet, and then we should get to their base, and then get the answers we're looking for, or kill everyone. And then we're claiming the place for ourselves, so we need to squat in a lot of places as well.
If we infiltrate Sky, then we probably have a better chance of finding any hostages they have alive. If we just start going in and slaughtering people as we go, they may try to use the lives of the hostages as leverage or just start killing hostages in retribution for us killing them.
But are we in a position to infiltrate now?
Not at the moment. That is why Ephraim is suggesting we go back and have a sleep so that all of Barry's nature powers and everyone else's strength returns fully.
Speaking of strength, are you guys feeling up to this? I mean, how much harder is this going to be than fighting my kids? Like, from what I understand, Kalan kind of kept you guys from getting your butts kicked out there. Are we prepared
Well, if we
to
can
take
get
on
the
these
drop
guys?
on them, it shouldn't be a problem. That was the
think
problem in the
true.
cave. We didn't get the drop on them.
And we didn't necessarily have a plan. We kind of just
Yes.
I mean, you guys
tried
knew
to
that
deal with it as we went.
the best way to go was to kill the spider, climb up the tunnel, and get in that way, right? That's the way you went?
Oh, definitely.
Oh well, I don't know how you didn't get the drop out of him. I mean,
I don't know
that
either.
tunnel comes up right behind where the guy likes to hang out. The boss guy. I
The
mean, you would have
spiders
had
have
a
a lot of
perfect.
legs. It's a complicated issue to try and wrestle them. Ephraim can tell you all about it.
The problem was we were going to do that, right? Except the lion said he was afraid of spiders, and so we decided to go a different way.
Interesting. Doesn't sound like him. I've got to be honest.
I know. I was surprised too.
Oh, I mean, you go the other way. You deal with a couple idiots, and then I think one of them had a big pet snake. The thing wouldn't attack anything if we tried. It was crazy. Thing was
Well,
useless.
it was a lot of fun to wrestle.
Oh yeah, I mean they wrestled that thing all the time. But problem was he wouldn't attack anybody. He just could fall asleep, no matter who touched him. It was crazy. Worst snake ever.
So
The
what are y'all doing?
the cave entrance. Do the woods go directly up to it,
I
or
guess
is
then
it
we will head
a
back to
clearing?
the sleeping or
Ken,
to
can you
the
not hear
stone
Kyle?
house.
Yeah, I was like, hold on. I can
Uh,
hear Kyle.
No, I can't.
Oh,
Interesting.
sorry.
It's just Kyle was like mid sentence. You're like, all right, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, I noticed that Kyle like phased in and phased out, so I think it's doing that same issue from our first night.
Oh, I made you say reload.
Yeah, I don't see Kyle on my screen at all.
Huh.
Let me
Oh,
let me
okay.
I'll
disconnect
we've
from
only
my
got
no.
we've only got
Kyle.
like five or 6 minutes left in the stream anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why don't we do this? Kyle, say what you were going to say, and then we will signal Ken, and Ken can say what he was going to say.
I was just asking, do the woods go right up to the cave entrance, or is there like a clearing at the cave entrance, essentially?
Yeah, so Kyle asked if the woods go up to the cave entrance. Uh, or, well, now he dipped. But anyways, so the way the way it looks is essentially so like the cliff line uh, is like here, and it's almost perpendicular with the woods touching it, and then like right as at the cusp of the woods meeting the cliffside, a opening in the rock is there with that door inlet inside. It's kind of like the like almost not a full blown cave, but you could step in there to get out of rain kind of deal. And then there's the wooden doors inlaid on the inside.
Okay. All right.
Wonderful.
And
And then
now I
now,
see
Ken,
now
what
I
were you
see
saying?
Kyle back.
Oh, cool.
I was just going to say that I thought that if we were not going to do anything else, we were going to head back and sleep, or because Barry can't go into, at least out of game. I don't think Barry can go into um, wild shape anymore today, so he
I
couldn't
can.
sneak up as a creature.
I can.
Oh, you can. Okay.
Yeah, it resets on short rest.
Okay. So then that would be our stealthiest way of getting a better look if he turned into some sort of small creature that they might not notice and go up and look around. But I don't know if we want to do that or not.
Turn into a
I'll
skunk.
play.
People hate skunks. They'll run away.
Yeah, or they could just
Or
like
a bird.
chop me up.
Yeah, just a little bird and flit to the trees
Yeah.
since it's a forest.
Or a wasp.
Yeah, I can do that. I go into um. Well, I gotta make sure. I like do a quick look around. Are we going over there? Like just talking? Like, because I'll just turn into an owl and fly over there.
Just a
Get a better
scout,
action.
yes.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
may be
Basically,
useful.
you go scout. You go scout. Come back, tell us, and then we can go back to the inn and think about it.
All right. So I go owl. Uh, you see like me kind of crouch down, shell comes up, and then as I kind of like pop in my shell, wings sprout out, and I flutter into the sky. Uh,
Oh,
My God, did that owl
Turn
have a
into a
shell?
blue shell.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll wild shape into the owl, and I'll fly over there and do a little recon mission. Um, just kind of get an idea of how just basic information. What do I see? How many people were there?
Mhm.
Stuff like that.
So as you fly over, you see that in fact the two individuals do appear to be red brands, just brandishing the scarlet cloaks. They're just lackadaisically guarding this door,
Okay.
just kind of like sitting on the ground and up against the cliffside, just talking to each other, playing some cards. Um, you see the door opens, another red brand kind of pops out, like nods over to them as like kind of laughs at the other as he appears to be losing this card game and kind of continues on down towards uh, likely the sleeping giant. But as the door kind of flutters open, you see it goes deeper into the cliffside in the direction of the Tricinder Manor.
Okay.
It's the inside, unlike the outside being more natural cliffside, you see it's man-made brick inlay of
Okay.
walls, dimly lit by sconces and whatnot. But you don't
Okay.
see too much other than just kind of like the half couple of feet or so
All right.
within the door.
Do they have like
Those-
keys on them, or like does it look like the door's locked in any way, or are they just guarding it?
It doesn't appear to be locked as they didn't, at least they didn't seem to lock it after the one individual left. They just appear to be keeping watch over this entrance.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna fly on back to where am I meeting you all at this Stonehill, or am I flying back to
I
the
don't
flag?
think we would have left you
Yeah,
by
I would say
yourself.
we'd
Yeah,
still
we're not
like
gonna leave you behind.
get in the tree
Go
line.
Scout, peace.
Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah,
mean, I can fly. Wouldn't
true.
mind a
Easier
little fly
journey for
time.
you.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, I'll flop back down, and then as I land, I'll berry form, uh, and I'm like, oh yeah, they seem pretty chill over there. They're not like keeping a tight watch, um, and it looks like the information that we received was primo. It's definitely a tunnel to the manor, and I would say you know if we're wanting to go in through the back, that we can do it quietly and stealthily,
Quietly go in the
and
back. It's a loose entrance. Got it.
yeah, hopefully
yeah.
hopefully not with a lot of pain, um, pain free entry.
All right, and with that, if anything, I'll give a pause as we are approaching our end time at 10:30. Actually, it is now 10:30. So for those of you watching, thanks for joining. For those of you that are watching thereafter, thanks for watching. We do this every single Wednesday at 7:30. Granted, come towards the holiday season, we'll give you a heads up. We won't be streaming on certain days like the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. But thank you
And New
for
Year's.
joining. If you have not already, check out Child's Play. Go to aotorlando.com. Check out all of our events there. We have everything from one-shot events to mini campaigns to paint and sips, which are painting minis while drinking beers. So we have plenty of events that you can join us until the end of the year. So go ahead and check that out. But with that being said, we'll see you next week on Wednesday. Have a good night. Peace.
Uh, sorry, I was totally not
We'll
ready.
just continue.